Hello and welcome to the Command Podcast, where our mission is to help you take command of your mind, your body, and your future to create a powerful, effective individual who has a desire to immerse themselves in greatness. Join me on this mission of becoming the next generation of leaders to make living with integrity badass again. I'm your host, Trent Niebersall, and now it is time to take command. This is the Command Podcast number 35. And today I want to start with a question for you. And that question is this. What do you think is the biggest attack on masculinity today? What do you think is the biggest thing holding masculinity and men back? You know, all these men podcasters out there, it seems the last few years, the biggest topic has been around, attacks on masculinity. So what do you think it is? Is it the whole social movement attacking toxic masculinity and trying to bundle all masculinity of just being a man, trying to provide for a family, going out working to provide for a family so that you can have a stay-at-home wife that, takes care of the household? Or maybe it's feminism and all these things that are attacking masculine men. Maybe it's the fact that, if you're a patriotic American who believes and holds the traditional American values, makes you a domestic terrorist. All these things are basically designed and put into place to make you want to not embody those things, because if you do embody those things and you're a masculine man who protects and provides for their family and goes out to forge their skill sets, their mind, their bodies, and their capabilities so that they can be a force to be reckoned with, it makes you dangerous and it makes you harder to control. So yes, those things are in place and those things have been intentionally put into place to make men not want to be men as they have been for the last, all of history. It makes, you want to kind of keep it to yourself and maybe be a more feminine type. But again, what do you think is the biggest attack on masculinity? What do you think is the biggest threat to masculinity and you being a man today? And now if you're a woman listener, I want you to listen to this too, because it might sound like it's just for a man, but women want a man as well, most of you anyways, and you might have a man or you might be looking for a man, and this is important for you to hear as well. So what do you think it is? Well, I'll tell you what it is. Well, it's you. Yep, it's you. It's your lack of discipline. It's your constant seeking of cheap dopamine rewards. It's your constant seeking of comfort. It's your lack of impulse control. That is the biggest threat to manhood, to masculinity, in our future today. It is the individual not doing what they know they should be doing to move forward and create a better life for themselves, their families, and be a positive impact and leader in their communities and their country. So all these things going around, all these social movements going around about attacking masculinity and trying to get you to be less of a man because somehow that's a bad thing. That's not what it is. It's you not doing what you know you should do on a daily basis to create a life that you want to create in your life, a future that you want to create. You not forging your body, your mindset by exercising, eating clean, putting good information, working on your skill sets to become a better protector, provider, and a leader. That is the biggest threat to masculinity and men in our future today. So let me put some context into this. Let's let's say when COVID was around, I'm just going to use this as an example. And I understand a lot of people, it really did affect their lives on a massive scale. You know, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their businesses. A lot of people lost everything. And it did impact a lot of people's lives. But for me, it didn't really. I still went to work, and I'm in California, the most communist state in the country. You know, like the most regulation. They cracked down, I think, the most during COVID. But during COVID, my life really didn't get affected. I still went to work. Luckily, I work in infrastructure. I still went to work. The biggest inconvenience there was for me was getting in fights with people at the grocery store for not wearing a mask, because I just wouldn't do it. So that was the biggest inconvenience for me. Now, how does this relate back to all these attacks on masculinity and that kind of stuff that I was talking about? Well, if you focus on what they're talking about the attacks on masculinity and how masculinity could be bad, and trying to bundle all types of masculinity in with toxic masculinity, then you're giving into it. You're giving it power. Don't give it power. Don't give it the time of day. Don't worry about what they're saying, because those people trying to put that message out, well, the people that intentionally are putting it into society, well, they're doing it intentionally to weaken society, to weaken men, to make you more easily controlled. Now, the minority, I will repeat, the minority of society who buys into it and puts out that message and embraces it, well, quite frankly, they're clowns. And if you give into it and you spend a lot of your time thinking about it, then sorry to say, but you're kind of a clown too. Because thinking about that and giving it energy is not what's going to fix it. What's going to fix it is you doing what you should do to be the man that you know that you should be, or be the man that you could be, that can make a positive impact in the world and set an example for those around you to follow. So, you know, on this podcast, I don't really talk about the problems in the world. That's not really my goal. That's not really my mission, to talk about the problems. There's plenty of outlets out there, podcasts, news, people you can follow on social media, websites that you can go to follow to find out what's going wrong in the world and what's, you know, just going on, period, what's going bad. I might talk about it sometimes, but that's not really my goal here. My goal is to find solutions and teach people how to implement those solutions. And what I believe the biggest problem in our world today is a lack of individuals setting an example for those around them to follow. And I believe creating that is what could solve a lot of problems, creating good men. So what do I believe masculinity entails? Well, I believe personally that masculinity is being able to protect and provide for your family, being able to create a future that you want in your life, and being able to reverse engineer that to create that future in your reality. That's what I believe masculinity is. I believe being able to survive without the comforts of society, I believe that makes a man masculine. And I believe that those are important things because, you know, when it comes down to it, society, our world is very fragile. So, you know, we have a lot of comforts. If you go to work here in the US and many countries around the world, if you go to work and you earn money, you could go down the street to the grocery store and you could get groceries to feed yourself and your family. If you have money, you can buy a house or rent a house or apartment, and you could pay for heat. I personally chop my own wood, and we have a wood stove. That's how I keep our house hot. You know, to be masculine, to be a man, you don't have to chop wood. I like chopping wood, and that is our source of heat. But that's not what being a man is to me. It's being able to provide and support your family, and I believe having survival skills and being able to get by without all the comforts of society is important to being a man. I believe being able to protect yourself and your family is important to being a man. So I believe that you should be able to shoot guns. I believe you should be able to do some type of hand-to-hand, at least be physically capable of protecting yourself physically, being physically capable rather than overweight and incapable due to your bad decisions of what you put in your mouth. I believe masculinity and being a man means making the right decisions, living with integrity within yourself, which is keeping the promises that you make to yourself. So, how do you become a better man? Well, what do I talk about in this podcast all the time? I talk about forging your mind, your body, and your skill sets, because those three things are what is going to make you a better leader. They're going to make you more capable. They're going to make you more valuable. They're going to make you a better protector and provider. And they're going to give you the capabilities to survive if something comes up and that situation arises. Because people really don't understand how fragile our society is. If something bad were to happen, let's say mass terrorist attacks or anything like that, people would be at home with their families protecting them. They wouldn't be out driving a truck, doing their job to drive a truck to deliver the groceries to the store. The police officers and the sheriffs, most of those guys would probably be at home protecting their families. And let's just say, if I think it's 9 of our electric transformers were to be attacked in the U.S., it would put us out of electricity, the whole country, for 6 to 12 months, because they're manufactured in China, in Germany, and they take time to build and they take time to ship over here. And they say millions and millions of people would die if that happened, because very few people have the actual skills to survive in a situation like that. Now, I'm not a fear monger. I'm a very optimistic person. I hope none of that happens. And I definitely don't consume myself with it, which is why I don't really talk about it on here, because here we talk about solutions, not the problem, which we will talk about the problems and stuff in the world some, because it's important. But there's plenty of outlets for you to hear those things. Here, I want to talk about solutions. So, don't focus on the attacks on masculinity. Focus on you being the man that you need to be to protect, provide, and have some survival skills in yourself. Being able to create a future that you can look forward to, and then reverse engineer that to create it, to make it a reality in your life, to give your life purpose and meaning and something to look forward to in your life. So what are we going to do our part in protecting masculinity and becoming a better man, in protecting freedom, and in making positive ripple effects that is going to make the world a better place for ourselves and those around us? Well, it all starts with you on the individual level. And that's why in the beginning of this, I asked you, what do you think is the biggest threat to masculinity? And I said it's you. I wasn't personally attacking you, but I know we all seek those things. This is not me getting on here and telling you that I'm perfect and I'm telling you how I do things all the time. I tell you what I'm striving to do. And every day is a new battle in doing the right thing and living with integrity within yourself to grow and get better, stronger, and more capable in your mind, body, skill sets, and your leadership. So what can we start doing today? Well, exercise daily to forge your body. Run, walk, hike, lift weights, do hill sprints, slam a giant tire with a hammer. Whatever you want to do. I already lifted weights this morning, and I'm going to be going on a trail run here after this podcast. What are you going to do to chisel your body, to sculpt your body? Next, fuel your body with good, wholesome, nutrient-dense foods. High protein, unprocessed foods like meat, poultry, eggs, fish, vegetables, and fruits. High protein, nutrient dense diet of things that came from the earth, not out of a factory. Next, forge your mindset. Forge a resilient mindset. How do you do that? Well, Exercise, that's hard. That will forge a resilient mindset of discipline because you have to follow through for yourself to do it consistently, and that is going to forge a resilient mindset. Same with eating clean, because to be completely honest, I think eating clean is harder than exercising consistently. So that is going to help you forge discipline and a resilient mindset in yourself as well. What comes after that? Put good information in your mind. Read books, listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts, and also take an inventory of what your thoughts are. And that's something that I go through in detail in this book. And it's also something that I go in detail pretty deeply in my coaching program, the Command Project, where you really got to take inventory of what you think about, of your excuses, of your habits, and you have to start re-engineering your mind and your thought processes, because we have 70,000 thoughts per day and about 90% of those are the same thoughts as the day before. So you could see how you could get in a habit of having negative thoughts, and it's just going to become a snowball effect of you getting more of what you've been getting. So if you want to change something in your life, that means you have to change something, and it all starts up here. It starts with your thoughts. So if you want something in life, again, I'm going down this path of what it means to be a good man. And if you want something out of your life, I think part of being a good man is being able to reverse engineer something that you want in life to make it a reality. So put good information in your mind. Find a few people that you like listening to who might live the life that you want to live, and model them. Say, what did they do? What do I got to do to get and create a life like that? And then believe this. Believe, if they can do it, I can do it too. If they can do it, I can do it. I think that's a healthy belief. And this is something that maybe I'll get into more in positive podcast episodes, but for me to believe something, just how my mind works, for me to believe something, I really need to see hard evidence. So instead of just believing things, I choose what I'm going to believe by what I think is a positive belief. And a positive, constructive belief is thinking, if they can do it, I can do it. If they can lose 50 to 100 pounds, I can do it. If they could get ripped and shredded and look amazing like that when they were overweight, I can do it. If they could make $1 million a year or $100 million or become a billionaire, I can do it too. If they can make their dreams come true, I can do it too. That is a positive, constructive belief to have. So think of that and remember that. If they can do it, I can do it. Because believing in yourself, believing that if you put the work in, that it will produce a result is required to making something great happen with your life. Because subconsciously, if you don't believe that the work is going to produce some type of result, then you will self-sabotage, because you will think, well, what if I put all this work in and nothing comes of it? Well, I'm telling you right now that something will come of it. Maybe it won't be exactly how you envisioned it, but I bet you it'll be damn close if you actually put the work in required to become that person and create that life that you want. So you got to eat healthy, again, exercise, put good information in your mind, forge your skill sets to become more valuable in the marketplace. That is how you become a good man. That is how you support masculinity. That is how we can become highly effective individuals, so that we can then unify as highly effective individuals, as leaders, and set an example for the next generation to follow. So let's stop talking about the attacks on masculinity, and let's start embodying the values that we need to be good men and set an example for those around us to follow. For your kids, for your friends' kids, for your friends, for your coworkers, for your neighbors, for your community, for your country. So start asking yourself today, what do you need to start doing to be the man that you need to be, or woman? I know this is speaking directly to men, and this really goes for women too. Maybe not the whole masculine part, but I bet you want a man, or you have a man, and you would like them to embody these things, to be a stronger protector, provider, and have the skills to support their family and create a future to look forward to. And if you don't have that vision for your future that I keep talking about, then take 15 minutes today after you watch this or listen to this, and come up with a compelling vision for your future. What do you want your life to look like 5, 10, 20 years down the road? Now, what do you have to do to become that person and start doing it? That's what being a man is. It is about setting your sights on something and working tirelessly and having the guts to actually go for it. So that is what you need to do. And then take 5 minutes out of the day to visualize it and think about what you want. And that is what's going to keep you on track. And it's also what's going to light a fire in your soul to continue pursuing that, because it's exciting. And of course, this vision must be something that is exciting. And, I get on here with no teleprompter. I might look around a lot because I'm thinking. I don't have a teleprompter. I don't have any notes written out. I got my laptop over here recording the podcast so that I can have the audio for it as well for podcasts. But I lose my place sometimes. Sometimes I pause. And that's what it takes for me to just get on here and put my message out there. This is something I don't always want to get on here. It's pretty tough to get on here. Just like it's tough to eat healthy and exercise consistently and support your family. But this is something I have to do to get my message out there, to make the impact that I want to make on the world, so that I can find my people, you guys that are watching this or listening and resonating with this message. So it's not going to be easy, but what matters is that you do it. So get out there, eat healthy, exercise, forge a resilient mindset, learn new things, learn new skill sets so that you can be a better protector and provider for your family. Control the controllables and forget everything else. What is in your control? Go out there and take command of those things. Become a badass individual who leads by example. That's what I got for you guys today. Please share this, subscribe, and leave a review. It would help me greatly grow the show. So please do that and share it with your friends. So until next time, join me on this mission of becoming the next generation of leaders to make living with integrity badass again. I'm your host, Trenton Ebersol, and now it is time to take command.